made it to Hyperfest. It's like 4 o'clock on Thursday. Weather's looking good. We're all just staged up here waiting to get into the paddock though. We can't get in until 6, so we're just hanging out till then. So rock on. right, so we finished up the last test and tune session before HFGT qualifying. It's pretty hot out. The car feels okay, it doesn't feel great. The engine just doesn't feel as strong as the old engine, even though it said it made more power in the dyno. Of course, it is also just really hot, but I think my mile an hour is down like 3 to 5 mile an hour on the back stretch, which is pretty significant. So we're gonna try a few setup changes and see if we can get a little more speed out of it, free up the rear end a little bit, and we'll see how it goes. So we just got in from qualifying for the HFGT race. Unfortunately, there was a pretty bad wreck a couple laps in, so there was a red flag, and then they black flagged and pulled us all in. As we were sitting in pit lane, one of the NASA workers came up and said my wing end plate was loose. One of the screws had come out and it's only held on by 2. So I came off track to come in, and I was gonna fix it and then go back out. But as I pulled off track, the HFGT officials told me they weren't gonna let the cars back out to go ahead and go through scales. So I went through scales and then just came back to my paddock area, and then got a phone call very quickly after that said they were gonna let them out. So then I rushed to get back out and just got like my out lap in. So unfortunately, going across the scales cost me some time, and I wasn't able to get a faster lap in. So I think I'm starting like 9th for the race tomorrow, which isn't terrible, especially because the car hasn't been feeling very good. It feels really flat on power. I think something might be up with the engine, so we'll have to check that out. I might put it on the dyno here just to get a quick health check. But still, start 9th for HFGT tomorrow. We also have the ST4 races tomorrow, so it should still be a good weekend. going into hog pen, 2 or 3 laps into the HFGT race, hub sheared off the driver's side rear of the car. You can see this is supposed to be in here, and it's not. So yeah, that sent me off into the grass. Luckily the car came to a stop. I think the grass had dried out enough that it came to a stop in a decent amount of time. I just lined the car up so I could see the rest of the field coming through out of my side view mirror, and once I saw the last car for the HFGT race, just pulled right into the pits there. And I was able to drive the car all the way back into the paddock without scraping that corner. We'll have to do a little more work. The subframe bent a little bit, but should be back out for the race in June, so could have been worse. So it is Sunday, the morning of Hyperfest. Did not do a summary of the HFGT race yesterday, so here we go. First couple laps were good. Ended up starting in 6th because the first place guy hadn't submitted his paperwork for the dyno and weight and stuff, so they didn't let him go out. And then I guess the guy that would have started ahead of him that was on pole, really fast dude in an E36 M3, it has had some kind of engine trouble and had like 0 oil pressure, so he wasn't able to start. So that already moved me up 2 spots. It looked like Charles Ford was going to run away with first. He was running significantly faster times than the rest of us, but it looked like there was going to be a good fight for 2, 3, 4, so a decent chance of getting on the podium. I got by 1 car right at the start and was able to hang with that front group, and then unfortunately at a hog pen my rear hub sheared off. So here's a look at that. Here's the hub. There's the inside of it in the wheel. You can see the hat of the brake rotor is also there, and the wheel went for a ride. It actually landed out in the field outside of Hogpen, still standing up. My buddy got a picture of it. Damage on the rest of the car, not too bad. I went out to the parts store, got a new hub and rotor, so got it put back together. But I was planning on trying to race today. Swap some tires around. I don't have another set of rear tires or wheels with my dries on it, so I guess I'll need to do that for the future finally. But there was some damage to where my sway bar mounts on the rear subframe. See if we can see that. It's kind of hard to see from here, but it got bent. That should be horizontal, but you can see the front's twisted down. I'm not sure if it bent the sway bar or something, so probably not worth the risk of running it just for this weekend. I also got some damage on the lower rear valence underneath the side skirt. Just got pushed in a little bit, so I'll have to pull this out, and then some of the area up near where the tab for the jack is got scraped and pushed up a little bit. So we'll just have to, I'll probably just pull it out, bang the sheet metal out, and weld it back together. Maybe plate it if it looks like it needs it, but I mean overall it could have been way worse. Other than that, the car's fine. So I'll probably get a new rear subframe, or maybe just rebuild that arm that hangs off the subframe where the sway bar mounts. It's kind of weak anyway. I can reinforce the one that's on there, so maybe I'll just build a fresh one out of, like, I don't know, 1/8 inch or 1/4 inch steel. But anyway, still a fun weekend at Hyperfest. I'm gonna stick around today and get loaded up and watch the Thunder and Lightning races, and already excited to get back out to Hyperfest next year. Just running in a field with that many cars in the same class is awesome. I want to keep doing it, so later. This is the dyno chart off the dyno at the track. The peak numbers looked consistent with what the car made on the dyno at my tuner when we were getting tuned before the event. 292, 293 horsepower. So at this point, I was a little confused because the car still felt flat. My shift points were later. My mile an hour was down, but the peak numbers looked okay. If we fast forward in time a bit, then we get some answers to why the engine felt flat. So I'm editing this video in August. Hyperfest was in May. So since then, I've put a different engine in the car. And looking at this dyno chart, we can see why the engine felt like it was down on power. It's because it was. So the red line is the engine that's in the car for this video at Hyperfest with the aftermarket cams and the ported heads. The green line is my previous engine, which was a J35 Z6 with J37A2 cams. And the blue line is my most recent engine, which is just a stock J37A2. So you can see the top end numbers aren't that different, but the engine we ran at Hyperfest was way down on mid range power, and that explains why it felt so flat.